What can you guys tell us about Jiricek here?
James, if you want to go first, I'll go after.
Possible draft selection for the Blues.
Again, this guy has another great potential guy, lots of skill. They are picking. They kind of flip flop between Solberg and him in terms of 16, 17. It's pretty much whatever's available after 15, whether it's going to be Solberg or Jiricek, is going to be up to the Blues to decide. Then Capitals will go next. I like this kid. He has a lot of good potential. Not as defensive savvy, a little more of that offensive side, which is good. But again, this is a 3-year prospect. We don't know what is gonna go here with this. With him. I definitely like the kid. Lots of speed, skill is there. It's just a matter of will that transition into, North American hockey. That's again, it's in the cards. You never know what's going to happen with a mid-round pick like this. It's when I started looking at history of a lot of these mid-round picks, it's the biggest hit or miss area imaginable. You think you're picking someone super worthwhile, has got a lot of potential, then they don't do anything. And then one guy is like, why'd they pick them there? And ends up being a stud who helps win a Stanley Cup for a team. It's just, again, it's Solberg or Jiricek. I think you're getting one of the same. Solberg has more physicality, but Jiricek can provide a better offensive boost, especially if Jakubchek isn't available for the Blues.
Yeah, and that makes sense. I mean, you brought up the thought process of having that mid-round draft pick, and you get kind of a hit or miss thing. You look at a guy like Dalibor Dvorsky, for example, who the Blues picked up last year, who seems to be I wouldn't say the next best thing for the Blues, but a very good possibility that he turns into a star player for the Blues. So maybe this is something that happens here. Brandon, what do you think?
I think that Jiricek could be a very valuable defender. I mean, if he's a guy that people probably overlooked a lot the past probably year and a half. He played in the World Juniors last year. He didn't play a whole lot because he ended up having a knee injury and had to have surgery. So this is probably the reason why a lot of teams or a lot of analysts are looking at him going in like the mid upper teens. But I mean, if you got to think, if he was healthy during the year, World Juniors, God damn, I can't talk. This is a kid that could probably be going in probably the high single digits, maybe even like 11 or 12. Because I mean, the kid has tremendous ability. He's quick. He can move the puck tremendously well. He could. I mean, yes, he doesn't have the defensive ability, kind of like what James said earlier. He's still a tremendous defenseman, obviously, with being going in the teens in the first round.
Sure.
But I definitely feel like if somewhere in the mix that Yamachek or Solberg get picked up in the early part of the draft, Adam Jiricek would be a very good option, I think, for the Blues.
Is there any possibility he goes earlier than this now?
Jiricek,
like
I'd
16?
say Jiricek is probably no. He's been ranked anywhere from that 13 up to 20 because he suffered a knee injury last season. So there's that little bit of that caveat. Like, I don't think a team's going to jump early to pick him up unless they flat out want a defenseman to draft. Yeah. That's about the only way I see that happen. I think no matter what, I think the Blues are going to make a good move. If they stay in that 16 spot, then I think they go well with either Jiricek or Solberg, no matter what.
Sure.
Now, in the off chance that, because I kind of looked at this too a little bit, and in the off chance that both Solberg and Jiricek and Jakubchek, Jakubchek go go earlier than 16. There are a few forwards that I did see as well. There's only two really that I really caught my eye that I felt like they were probably decent for what the Blues were looking for, and that was Cole Eiserman and Michael. And now this is a name I'm probably going to butcher.
Brandsteg Nygaard is who you're thinking of. The Norwegian kid. Yeah.
Yep.
Well said. Well said.
Because both those guys, they have their shot is off the rails. They both have a really good shot. They both have really good skating ability, and these are another set of forwards that were predicted to kind of go in like the mid-teens, maybe a little bit higher, just because of all the skill that's already ahead of these guys. If everybody else and all the defensemen go before these two forwards, I feel like could be really good options for the Blues. One's a center, I think. Eiserman was a center, and I think Brandsteg Nygaard was a right wing.
Yeah. Yep.
Gotcha. It's all, nice to kind of get an idea of what would happen if the Blues, or if these guys were picked up sooner. Chris, do you have any thoughts on things and who you would?
Yeah, I saw a projection. It was just like, it was a compilation. It was, okay, here's who a couple guys from the Athletic think are going to go, and here's who, Craig Button from TSN, who was a former NHL executive.
Mm-hmm.
And they had, so I don't remember which guy. I remember who Button picked the Blues taking, which is defenseman EJ Emery, who is a U.S. development team prospect. That's who he had them taking, but he was kind of higher on Emery than a lot of other people. So, I didn't see a whole lot of talk about Emery going that high, but that's who he thought they would take. The other three, the two Athletic guys and the guy who writes for, I think that it's another hockey blog. They had Brandsteg Nygaard. One of the guys picked him for the Blues. One guy picked Eiserman for the Blues, and then the other guy picked Beckett Seneke, who is a kid that plays for Oshawa in the OHL, which is Oshawa is famous as being that was Eric Lindros's team back in the day. So Oshawa is well known for Eric Lindros. But Beckett Seneke is a second coming of Kyrou type player, like super flashy, fast, like that type of style, right? And so so that was the four that those guys that they had kind of compiled, like projected all the way down the first round. But the Yakimchuk, they had him gone well before the Blues would be picking. And so some of the guys you brought up, I think that there would need to be a move made in order for them to get into that kind of 9-10 range.
Yeah.
To get a guy that like a Yakimchuk or even a Stian. So like one of those guys, Solberg. So yeah, I think they're going to be gone probably before you get to 16.
Yeah, and I mean, looking at the teams that are in that 9, 10, 11, 12 spot, you're not probably going to get those spots from those teams without probably giving up something in significant value, because Calgary, they're kind of in the same position as the Blues. They're looking to add to their depth to try to get better positioning.
I was going to say Calgary's they're going to draft a Ginla.
Right.
I think that's just I think that's no matter what. I think it's a guarantee.
Right. Then New Jersey, they've had struggles, but they're very close to having the right pieces, and I still don't see them trading unless you want to give something up significantly in order to get to their spot. Buffalo, I heard Buffalo was interested in trading for pieces in order to get to that 11 spot. Philly, I don't see any question about them giving a pick. They're sticking with the 12th pick because what did I see? They were going after. Oh shoot! They're going after Yemechek. If pretty much if Buffalo doesn't take it, they're taking him at 12.
Right.
So
I think if there's out of those bunch, if there's a team that the Blues do trade with, in my thoughts, I think it's New Jersey. Because like you said, I mean, they've put together, they've already made some trades this year to kind of bolster up what they have already. You know, getting Markstrom from the Flames, you know, in a trade 2-3 days ago.
Hey, you know,
I think that's a possibility.
Yeah, they might need a power play quarterback over there on New Jersey, and I know a guy.
Torrey
that
Crew.
might be. Oh yeah, that guy. I mean, it's possibility. Like, let's face it.
I was going to say Matt Carpenter again.
He's next. But if you really think about it, Jersey, really had a down season, a bad season.
Right.
They're better than what they were. They're going to do what they can to make moves to improve. They got some cap space. I could see them give up that pick for some help now to go to the playoffs.